Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here. And today is Thrifty Canucks Day. Yay! Thrifties, get out your paper, pad, and pen and write things down, because Thrifties, there's going to be lots of things in here that you want to remember and ask for. So, again, a mishmash of places that I went to, my local thrift shops, to the flea market, all over the place, and just a fun collection that I've come across this time around. So this book is for me, a little bit dirty here, and I paid $3 for this book and the next book in line, and it's a wine journal. Love the coil binding. Eventually I will take the coil out and use it, reuse it, because I do repurpose these for my cinch machine or my Zutter machine. I have both. But when you open it up, it is these little cards that say, you know, I guess you're supposed to keep track of the different wines you drink. Yeah, where you purchased it at, what price you paid, tasting comments. That, you know, I mean, I drink wine, but this is not something I would do. But the other side is just this long list, lined paper. So I thought this is going to go in my collage masterboard tray where I keep all my different books for creating masterboards. And I thought this is the perfect size to use up those little tiny bits of paper, you know, whether it be a little piece of paper or a book page or a piece of washi tape or a piece of fabric. I can glue it all down to here and then eventually embellish it and just use this to store them in, and then the back is done. So then I can just take this right out of the book. I think I have to probably tear them out. I guess I have to tear them out so I wouldn't go over the holes. Because I mean, I could wait till the book is completely filled and then empty it, because you can see the coils open up here. Just take a pair of pliers to open them up, or put it right back into my cinch or Zutter machine and use that tool to open them up as well. But I think what I would do is I would just cut them along the line when or tear them out when I'm ready to work with them further. But I just thought this is the perfect size to make a tall tag to go in a journal or a tall bookmark, and you know, the writing is done on the back, and it's a good size paper, so very easy to cover this and have it ready to go and use up all those scraps and bits and pieces. And it's kind of fun when you make these and then you see them after and you go, oh yeah, I remember that paper, or I remember that piece of ribbon or fabric. So find yourself a little book like this for the same purpose, and collage along as you go, making different things. So that was a good one for $3. Put that on the floor. And then this one I bought for $3, and I'm kind of sorry I bought it in a way. I got caught up in the moment with the colors, but it's a book for making these paper dolls. But I would never make them in a million years. There are some great images here that I can cut out, depending on what's on the other side, that I can use for, you know, fussy cuts. In this case, there's nothing. And now they give you a full-size picture. Now this one says 1460 was the time period. I've seen this picture as a painting. And then what they do is they give you the instructions here, and then now this is the back of it, I think. Oh no, this one was one that was torn out. So they made the first one in this book. So then you turn the page, you get a scene, a full page scene that you can use to display behind your paper doll that you make, because it's a three-dimensional paper doll. So there's that. This is the era. It's in the 1500s. So there's the picture, 1595. And then this is the background, and these are the cutouts. So that when you cut them out, you have a nice background on the other side. So let's look at this one here. So you have a nice background on the other side of this. And then you make the paper doll, and the idea is you have the picture to go with it, or the scene, in, you know, whatever it was you want to display. And then you display your paper dolls. Do they have a picture? Yeah, they show here like a picture of it being displayed behind the picture. I would never do this in a million years. No. I had my life of paper dolls when I was about 8, and I'm done with paper dolls. So I would just cut out the backgrounds and use those for, paper backgrounds. So it wasn't a total waste of money for $3. I got this beautiful glossy paper, and depending on what I want, I can cut out this side as well and use this background paper. But yeah, not something that I would personally make to create with. It's pretty, but not my thing. But there's so much in here. So there's another background. There's another picture. And then this would be the back side of this paper doll. And then so on. So another beautiful picture for a background. Another picture. So something like this, I would probably cut down a little bit more and use as a signature page. What's on the other side? So it's got the instructions of how to make this doll. Excuse me. But yeah, not something I would do. Like I don't know if you can get the full view of this, but yeah, not hanging out in my house. So yeah, they're pretty, but not my thing, but I will definitely use the papers. So I will probably cut this up pretty fast and get rid of it right away and move on to other things. But there's lots of beautiful, like the paper backgrounds are gorgeous to put in a journal or cut up for tags. So I will make quick work of this, and it will be gone, as I say, gone like yesterday's soup. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at with this. But yeah, there's some fun images in here that I could use, but yeah. So $3. And then I got 2 of these scrapbooks. They were $1 each, and I think one of them has more pages missing than the other because they are supposed to be 30 sheets. But what's fun is the first couple pages, I think, in this one. Yeah, somebody did some sketching in here, so I will use those sketches. I find it fun when I find these in packs of paper that I find. They're not necessarily something I would want to hang up as that it was an artist of sorts, but I would certainly use it as a page like that in a journal because I think it's fun. And then this one is, it's not my thing. I'll use the backside. But yeah, there were just a few pages that were sketched on, and the rest are blank. So these I cut down to size 8.5 by 11 and use them to go through my printer. What's nice about this kind of scrapbooky type paper is it really adds to the aged effect when you're doing things like printing maps or documents, because then it allows the even though inkjet ink does dry pretty rapidly, it does allow for a little bit of, where it expands, like it bleeds a little tiny bit, but in the right way. So then it gives it that real aged look. So one of my favorite papers to work with when I'm doing maps or documents, definitely, because it really lends to that. So I got 2 of those for $1 each, and I thought that was pretty good for the amount of paper. And then the scrapbook pad for $4. I don't need any more scrapbook paper, period. But it's just one of those things that you can't pass it by for $4. It's this is reflections, so recollections. I mean, not reflections. So it's beautiful paper embossed with gold. These little things can be easily cut out. They're not too cutesy for me. So I would cut these out and use these in journals as tucks and in tuck spots. And there's 3 pages of them and plain paper. It's a cardstock weight. So I would be selective as to where I use it. Most likely something like this will just get cut up for tags or backgrounds or something. But yeah, some beautiful pieces to work with. I thought, for $4, like keys are cute, a little too much for me, but in small doses it would be fine. You know, if you use it as a background for tags, it would be fine. It might be nice to have a large key that you stitch onto the tag to make a more of a statement. But yeah, nice paper. This is nice. I like this. This would easily, you know, if you think of it, it's 12 by 12, so 4 by 6. I could chop this up into 6 really nice journal cards. Round cornered, done. So there's 12, 18 of them just like that. So that's what I talk about when I, excuse me, when I like quick ephemera. You know, each one would look different, and you know, if it's pretty neutral, that you can use it in different things, and you chop it up to 4 by 6, and you've got all these journal cards made. No embellishments required. You know, you can just pop it in just like that. Houndstooth. Yeah, Jen, this is coming to you. It looks like there's only 1 page, so somebody loved this, because there's supposed to be 3 of everything. So somebody really loved this one, but you're getting this one, that's for sure. Jen loves Houndstooth. I don't. And this is actually almost the same as that ribbon that I had, those rolls. And the other 2 rolls went to Jen and Deb, so they can fight over this sheet. But the books are nice. So yeah, these are things that can easily be cut up, which is why I took it. So for $4, I probably have about 150 nice journal cards, tags, and labels that I can use. So pretty nice. Excuse me. Another sketchbook. Now this one was $3. There are, you know, I guess it started out as 100 sheets, but I don't know what exactly there will be here. They're 11 by 14. So I can easily cut down 11 by 8.5 and then have a smaller piece to use for something else. So nice enough for that. Nice paper, nice texture to it. Perfect for my printer. That's why I buy this stuff, and I chop it up right away, and this is gone instantly. But the results when you print on this is just amazing. This is also great for printing receipts and invoices. You know, I gave you that big, huge collection of receipts that I turned in, like they were promissory notes that I turned into shipping tags and other like invoice type papers. Perfect for that. So that's all paper for me to work with and things. So I have a few other little things that I bought that are more for me, and then we'll get into some that I'm sharing with my thrifties. $3. My goodness, they overkilled on the pricing. Three. They wanted to make sure I knew it was 3. And this, I'm not even going to open it. It's just some glitter and some embossing powder. Well, maybe I can get it open. They tend to go a little crazy with their packing materials in there. This is the place that uses the masking tape, and I just it makes me gag when I see all that masking tape. Some of this I think might even be flocking. Embossing powder. This looks like embossing powder. Embossing powder. So when you think about the prices of this stuff, and somebody used it, like maybe they used it once. Now, I used to do a lot of embossing, and I got away from it, which is why now when I see this stuff, I buy it, because I tell myself, you know what? It's time to, here's another, the teal blue. So lovely colors. And then there's some glitter. It looks like a very fine glitter. There's no, yeah. And this one looks, I'm not sure if it's glitter or embossing powder. Looks like glitter. But we will see. I will play with it and see what happens. But, you know, I can always use this stuff. And I talk about embossing. I haven't embossed for a long time, but I have been picking these things up now at the thrift shops, because we know how much this stuff cost at one time, and still costs if you go to the craft stores now. And so I want it to inspire me to get back into doing stuff with this, because I always enjoyed it when I did it. It's just that I got away from it. Same with my stamps. Actually, Caroline and I were talking that maybe we should have a segment of use it and let it go, which is something I'm considering, is that I may start having a series. I just don't know quite how to do it, so I'm going to figure that out, where I show something and let it go right afterwards to some recipient. I just don't know how to do it yet, where it would be fair to everybody. But yeah, so that is something that I want to play with again, is my embossing and my stamps, and see what I want to purge and let go of, and then keep the rest. So there's that. This was a little excessive in price from a thrifting point of view. Now, to buy this brand new, this was $7.80 something. They're called shaker mixes, but they're filled. I'm not going to open this because it would be a disaster here. But they're filled with sequins and buttons, sequins in different sizes. There are some seed beads in here. This is an absolute awesome mix for doing, a snippet roll or doing some slow stitching where you have all the colors. So then it's just a matter of mixing my fabrics together, or, my different images that I'm going to use, and different fabrics and ribbons and trims that I can add this, and the colors all match. So it's kind of fun in that way. So I paid $3 for it. Like I said, from a thrifting point of view, it's high, but the value in inspiration and readiness to me is worth the $3. And then this one was also $3. It's only half full, but again, the colors are kind of Christmassy colors. But I would pull the green from here and then use the red separately. I don't do anything in Christmas. I did it last year, the year before, for Antonio Makes. I made Christmas stuff, but I usually don't. It's not that I'm anti-Christmas or anything. We just don't have anybody to give this stuff to. We put up a very small basic tree at Christmas for the sake of Christmas for the two of us, but we're just not into the decorating and creating. So I don't make journals in Christmas unless they're going to be journals that I sell or give away. I have a couple boxes of Christmas stuff. I'm hoping that when Lori comes, she'll just go through it all and take what she wants, and it'll be gone. Lori's coming next year, so I'm hoping, because she loves Christmas and loves doing things for Christmas, so hopefully she'll take most of my Christmas stuff and we'll be done. But yeah, so in the case of this red and green, I will separate it and use the color separately for different projects. But it lends itself to the same type of thing, where I can go and find the items and then use the sequins and buttons and beads to complement the item that I'm going to decorate with. So those are fun. So I'll put those in a different pile. Okay, two more things to show you, and then I can get on to thrifty stuff. I thought I was done, but I'm not. I bought this at the dollar store. Run with scissors, guys, if you're at Dollarama. You've seen this before, but this purple, it's called spider web. I did open it up. Where is it open here? I just think this will be fabulous for doing slow stitching. I'm just going to pull it out. It has some plastic spiders. I will just put them in the collection of odd things. Don't use spiders for anything much. Halloween. I don't do any of the seasonal stuff like Halloween and Easter and Valentine's Day. I just do generic, or color specific or theme specific, but not holidays. Anyway, this is fun webbing, but I just thought this could easily be used for felting and for slow stitching. There are different layers of this, and you just pull it apart how you want it. And I just thought, because it's purple, it's not, traditional. Like, it doesn't look Halloween if you're doing something that's purple. So I just thought this had lots of possibilities to add into slow stitching or in little clusters behind images and stuff. So very pretty product to work with. It was only a couple of dollars here, $3.50 for all of this. way more than I will ever probably use in my lifetime. But yeah, it's just a fun textured product that I can play with and use and just have fun with. So when the time comes and I'm working with this, I will certainly bring you along for the experience and just to share, what I'm going to do with it. And yeah, and then the spiders will go in my oddities box. And you don't necessarily have to have a spider for Halloween. You can have a spider for a Black Widow journal or a Gothic journal or something. Yeah, I'm more likely to do something Gothic than I would Halloween. But I do have stuff and collect it, and sometimes I find the right use for it. So I'll put them there and put them there. And then the other thing, now I got this at the flea market. All these flowers. Now, they were on stems. They were on 2 bouquet stems, and I saw them underneath the girls' table from the other side of where somebody else's table was. And so I got the vendor to tap the girl on the shoulder, and I asked her how much she wanted for the flowers, and she said $1 for all of them. And so I took them, gave her her $1, and then, I threw them in my bag, and, I was thrifting at the flea market for a while, and all my stuff went into the car. And then I went and did some grocery shopping, and I got back in the car, and I could smell something that stunk so bad in the car. And it's like, because, I guess the sun had been shining on the car, and it was these flowers. They were kind of smoky and, stale smelling, but the smoke was there. So I washed them 3 times, which really improved the color because they weren't quite this nice a color. But it meant that they were all now in pieces because I took all the plastic off, because sometimes when you're dealing with those flowers, that plastic gets permeated with any smells that those flowers are in. So they have a combination of Mr. Clean, and then I did a second washing of the lavender in there. And then I did a third washing with another essential oil just to get rid of the smell. And now they smell very, very pretty. But they were layered, I think about 4 or 5 on top of each other. So let's see, 1, 2. They were a very pretty daisy flower, or whatever you would call this. 3, 4. And then they had a small center one. And then they had the plastic little thing to represent the stamen on the bottom or in the middle. And then a plastic cap to make them be more like this, right? So very pretty. I guess they're like a chrysanthemum, right? Is that what it would be like? I think that's kind of what they would look like. But I just thought, again, going back to the needle felting, I thought maybe 2 of these layered on something, and then I would create this needle felting thick wool center with browns and oranges to represent a sunflower. It's not a real sunflower, but it would look really, really pretty. And then I thought the little ones too, the same thing. And then I recently saw something where somebody was doing some stuff with leaves, and I just had that moment. And so there will be a project coming up with these leaves that I'm going to show you and share. I haven't done one yet, so once I do one, then I will be in the mood to do the tutorial and show you what my plan is for these, because I think I've come up with something really fun. So stay tuned. That's coming very soon, because when I come up with these ideas, they sit in a certain spot in my studio for me to work on them. I just haven't had a day where I can actually work on a few projects at once, where I can just say, okay, I'm doing this. And so once I've done something like that, then I have the samples, and I keep the samples out, and I put the rest of this away until I'm actually going to do a video. And then once I get ready to do a video, then I can show you how I do it. So it does always stay on the back burner, but it doesn't always get done right away. But I paid $1 for these flowers, so I think they were well worth it. And if you were looking for silk flowers, even the dirty, grungy ones, as gross as they are, throw them in a sink full of dish soap and, a little bit of, like I use Mr. Clean, but any, household cleaner that is quite, you know, aromatic that you can use. And they were pretty dirty because the water was very dirty when I was finished. And then, you know, I kept washing them and rinsing them until finally they came clean. But for $1, that's a lot of mileage right there. I won't use it all. So Thrifties, if you want a handful of these, just let me know. I'll give you some of these and you can play with them. So Thrifties, just say yellow daisies or yellow flowers if you want. And I'll give you a handful of about 6 or 8 of them. Because then I don't have to do them all. Okay, so that was your first thing, Thrifties. I hope you're making notes. Please start making notes because there's so much here. It's crazy. So I got 3 of these. Are they all here? 1, 2. Where'd the third one go? Oh, there it is. These I got at Frenchie's. Sometimes they surprise me and they have bags of fabric or rolled up rolls of fabric. These were some kind of, I think they were meant to go into fabric books because they're all cut like this. And then I saw this one had a little sample number on here. So they're just beautiful little fabrics. Are they big enough to do a journal? Well, you know, they are, sorry, I got stuff here in the way. They are 10 inches by 8. So yeah, it'll make a little, you know, like kind of like a little notebook type thing. But I just thought slow stitching fabric flips. You can make 2 fabric flips out of this. Just very pretty neutral fabrics. You can do some slow stitching in here. Lots of fun things. So Thrifties, if you want a couple of these, just say green sample fabric. Okay. And then the next one, and I paid $2.99, and there I counted one and it was 30, but I think this one has way more than 30. So it was less than 10 cents a piece, you know, to do these. And then this pink one is very pretty. It looks like it has the 30 in it. Just lovely color. No guarantee as to what you would get when I'm distributing these, but just lovely colors. In this teal, kind of a teal blue color, and then kind of a corally red, and a little bit of pink. So there was that color, and then this was my absolute favorite. Oh, just beautiful. This is kind of a tapestry. So that one I would say pink sample fabric. An elephant sample fabric. Look at these elephants on here. So after the Thrifties take what they want, I'm going to turn all of these into some small notebooks and then maybe keep about 6 pieces for doing pockets. Because look at this. If you fold this in half, if you're doing like a circus journal or, you know, a boho style journal or an India journal or an elephant journal, you can cut this into 4 squares, well, 4 rectangulars, and make instant pockets for your journal. So yeah, there's the other side. And well, this one you would cut them in half, but you could always make a flip out of this one and then use this just as a little scrappy bit. But yeah, beautiful fabric. This one I enjoy the most, of course. But Thrifties, if you want a couple of these, I'll give you 2 of each. If you don't want them all, just say green sample fabric, pink sample fabric, elephant sample fabric, bleh. Or say all sample fabrics. And then I can give you all, and you'll have a 6-pack. So that's plenty to work with, I think. Like you could make one of these into a nice journal and then use the other inside as pockets and snippets and clusters and all that kind of stuff to go in the journal. So it's plenty to work with. So there's that one. And then I got this little goodie bag here, and this one I paid $4 for, but well worth it. At first I thought they were shower hooks, but they're not. They're actually tassels, and they have this flower on top, and it was $4, and it has a pin on the back, so you can pin it onto something, And it has a tassel. Now the tassel has this tape on here to, I guess to keep the tassel sort of nice. And I thought they were shower hooks at first when they were in the package. And then I opened it up and looked a little closer, and I saw, oh, they're pins. Yeah, everything has tape on it. Okay. So it needs a bit of a finger comb. If ever you get tassels like this that look like like they just got out of bed, a tassel that just got out of bed, I can look like that so easy. That pretty much describes me in the morning. There I am. Now you know. But if ever you get a tassel, you can do a little bit of finger combing to it. And then I just put my iron on steam, and I put a tea towel or a cotton cloth over top, and I just start to iron it flat. And it will, it will eventually flatten out. You have to do it a few rounds where you do this part, iron it, and then turn it over and do a little bit more. But you'll be quite pleasantly surprised when you see how nicely these do straighten out in the end. But yeah, in the morning, that's what they look like. So yeah, I think there's 11 in here. So Thrifties, if you would like one of these, I would be happy to give you one. And I just realized just now, look at this. Not planned at all, but can you see this now as being the back of this fabric, or even as a tassel right on the front of your journal cover? But I see it more, hooked up here and dangling. So there, Thrifties, if you want one of these tassels, I think you need the elephant fabric to go with it. So let me know in your comments. One tassel. It still leaves me lots, but I can't believe how even the flower, the colors are so complementary to this. Total fluke. I just saw it now. And I always tell you that, it seems that you gravitate to these things, and they all come together when you're out thrifting, maybe not in the same day, but within a couple of days. It's in your subconscious, definitely. But I always say that the universe provides what you need, not necessarily what you want. So I guess I needed those. So the next pile, and I am saving the best for the last, is fabric, because Frenchies, where I go to, they had a ton of fabric. So I bought lots because it was just stuff that I said, oh, can't leave this behind, can't leave this behind. And it was ridiculous prices. I don't want to go into every detail of prices, but it was ridiculous prices. But I want to show you this. So this fabric here, it's cotton. It's a cotton blend. It's probably cotton polyester blend. But it's a beautiful fabric because it is so versatile. Like you can cut this into strips any width you want to make different bands. You can slow stitch on top of here, add sequins and beads and trims. I could go on and on about that stuff, but I see it and I go, oh my goodness, I could put a sequin in every one of those. It would look beautiful. You just start playing with it at any width. Like you could just take just this strip right here and enhance that to add a band onto a journal you're working on, or onto a page, or a belly band, or a page edge. So stuff like this is so fun to work with that, I can't say no to this, because look at you, it doesn't matter what you're working with. And the color combination, this bright pink and the teal and the white and the yellow, it just lends to so many different color combinations that you can create just with this. And like I said, it's the simple things of adding a couple of beads in here that can turn this trim into many different embellishments for your journals. It can also be a journal cover if you want to pad it with some fabric and then do some serious slow stitching on top. You can use it as a liner on the inside of your journals. Just so many uses. And I got a mountain of it. Like there is a ton here. So what I'm going to offer is a yard length. So it'll be 36 inches long for my Thrifties, and it will be approximately, I think it's, what is it here? It's approximately about 15, 16 inches wide. So it would be half of the fabric width, whatever it is. So once I cut it, it'll be a long strip. And the reason I'm doing it long like that is because then you can decide to make it into ribbons. Because look at this, you can just have so many. This is pretty much how wide of a piece you're going to get. And so you can make it in all kinds of ribbons. And you don't have to go 36 inches. You could go 24 inches and then leave a 12-inch piece, which would give you 2 journals if you wanted, or tags, all kinds of things you could make with this. And the colors, just gorgeous. So there's this, and then I was fortunate. I didn't get a lot of this, but in the same pile was this, and it is silk, pure silk. I did the burn test and stunk up the house, and it is pure silk. So I cut some strips. Now it is 2 yards long, so I can give, if Thrifties, if you want, because look at this. There's your journal tie, and you can add some of this into it, and whatever. But I can give you a 2-yard piece that is about 2 inches wide. I don't think this is quite that. Yeah, this is just under 2 inches, but I would give you a 2-inch wide strip. Yeah, because this was the first one I cut on the salvage, so I will keep this one for myself. But a 2-inch wide strip, which is what this is. I cut a couple to make sure it was nice to work with, and you get all the little threads that you can deal with yourself. But I just thought it was very complimentary to this. So if you want the pink and teal fabric, and then just let me know that you want the silk tie to go with it, I will add that in for you as well. So there's that. Like, these fabrics are just stunning, and so many possibilities. Now, this one isn't a huge piece, but I can certainly share this as well. It's kind of a blue and gold, and I do have something coming up on the weekend, so you may want to have a piece of this. It will just be a small piece, enough to do a journal cover, like the basic that I can give you. I think I go by 12 by 20. So that's kind of what I would cut off. I have enough to do that, and have a couple pieces left for myself, and then it's good and gone. Done and gone. So very nice, and it will complement some stuff that I'm going to have for you this weekend for a de-stash. Boy, did I make a de-stash kit for you. So that is my next fabric, and yeah, I was just thrilled to the max on that one. This one it's just a plain black with kind of this, I don't know what you would call this, is antique looking. It's not even gold. It's I don't know, kind of brownish. I don't know what color you would call this. I really don't. I'm stuck on it, but it's a nice combination. This to me just says journal base or a journal liner. Definitely need something with it, but if you want some of this in the black, and we'll just say black and gold for the sake of not knowing what other color to call this. But yeah, I don't know what color you would call this. What color would you call this? Maybe it's not even gunmetal, because gunmetal's more grayish. I don't know. Yeah, I'm stuck on that one. It's kind of in between everything. This is beautiful. This is a sari wrap, so you will get a good chunk of this, Thrifties, if you want this. It has this kind of this peacock feather, goes throughout the whole thing, all the way around. I don't want to open up because it takes up too much room. And then it has this blue and gold trim on the bottom with the birds in there. Again, this just says, do something with me. So lots of possibilities to add other trims in here. You know, there's the space to add other things. You know, there's space to embellish with other things. You can do bead sequins. You know the drill. It is the reverse on the other side, which is equally beautiful. Now, this, I guess this is the other, this is the right side, actually. Sorry, it's just I'm not going to pull it all out. But yeah, you can see it. I actually like it with the on the wrong side better because it shows more purple. But that is the color. And this is kind of a shimmery, you see the purple a little bit and you see the reddish pink in there. I hope you can see that through the coloring. So Thrifties, if you want a piece of this, this is gorgeous. That's all I can say. It's a sari wrap in the blue and pink. So whatever you say, I'll know what you mean. But yeah, I love it. I can't wait to do something with this, but it's way down the list for now. I can't work on it right now. The best for the last. When I saw this piece, I said, oh yeah, I gotta have this, and I know my Thrifties are gonna want a piece of this. Told you it was all fabrics. But as soon as I saw this, I said, I gotta have this. And then Lulu looked at it and when I had it out on the bed and she was looking at it, and I think she wanted it. So it is a faux fur. And this one I paid $4 for. And it's got this hot pink and this other shade of pink in here. And it's like you can see the netting through it. It is translucent. I don't know if that'll show up in the image or not. But I thought this was just gorgeous. It would make a really fun, girly journal cover. Like, I just think this reminds me of my niece Elizabeth when she was young, and she would come to our house in Vida. We lived on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and my husband taught her how to ride the lawn tractor, which she thought was great because she was only about 11 or 12 at the time. And she had a very bright pink furry sweater that she would wear. And she would wear these big chunky pearls. And she had big platform shoes. And she was as thin as, 2 sticks with a little body. And she would get on our lawn tractor and have her headphones on and be singing throughout the whole yard and mow the lawn. And it was great. Like, it was great for Tom because she loved doing it. And that was the first thing she would always ask, do I get to cut the grass? And so it was fun to have her come. But it just always reminded me of her and when she was young. And so when I saw this, I thought, oh, that would make such a cute, girly journal. So yes, Thrifties, if you want some, I can't give you a whole lot of it. It will be about 16 inches wide by about 12 inches, but there will be enough to give everybody some if they want some. If people don't, like, I'm not cutting into it until I have the list of the basics of who wants them. So if people don't take, then I would make it a little bit larger and a little bit wider. But yeah, it's just beautiful. I think my cat Lulu would love to sleep on this, but she has enough beds. Just in my studio alone, I think there's about 5 or 6 beds that she sleeps on. So she doesn't need any more beds. But she did look at it like, ooh, that looks interesting. And I picked it up right away because I didn't want any fur on it. Even though it's fur, I didn't want her fur on it. But lovely fabric. I hope you like this. Yeah, it was a fun haul. It's definitely all fabric. Okay, there's a little bit of a splotchy thing on here. I don't know what that is, but I'll keep this piece for myself. Oh yeah, I can see it shows through a little bit there. I'll scratch it off or something. I didn't wash this, can't wash it. I didn't wash any of these because most of the fabrics are brand new. They don't smell. And like that purple or that sari fabric, I would worry the color would bleed, so I'm not washing it. And it doesn't smell, and none of them are used. You can tell that they're crispy and that they're all brand new. So I didn't wash any of them, and no smell. But yeah, this one I didn't wash, doesn't smell. No, it doesn't smell at all. So yeah, good to go. And I will keep this little piece here. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thrifties, make your notes, leave your comments below, and do look for it. I didn't get it done this week, the D-stash, but it will be a doozy this weekend because I went into some fun stuff. So I will be cutting for the next few days for you, to show you some fun things on the weekend. Mail is moving now. So Thrifties, when your boxes are full, I'm going to let you know that they're full. Some of you are getting very, very close. After this and probably after the D-stash, if you've picked things from those items, I'll be probably shipping a box to some of you. But yeah, the mail is moving again now, so we are going to get back into getting these parcels out. If you want to become a thrifty, you do have to follow the link that's in the description box below, and it shows you how to become one of Kim's thrifties. There is a video for you to watch. When you watch a video, you leave a comment on that video, not here, because I'm not going to be running around videos looking to see who left me comments. You have to leave it on that video. It explains what a thrifty is. It explains how much a thrifty box costs and how it works. So follow the link to that video, watch the video, and leave your comments there. I am not taking on any new thrifties until the new year. I do have a waiting list, but, it seems like I can move it pretty fast. And, I was working with just 4 people. Now I think I can keep it going up to 6. Just so that you should get your name on right away if you do want to be a thrifty, because some of my thrifties are diehards. They're not leaving me. They're going to be back in January, and they kind of have first dibs. So unless I get to the point where I have a huge waiting list for the thrifties that do repeat, they will definitely stay on. But I will try to accommodate everybody as we go along. That's it. That's all for today's video. I wish you all a very creative day and a creative week, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye for now.